drawn, and he's going to take the thin sliver of staff that he was granted, and he begins reading off the paper. And you guys watch as the staff is in, like the sliver of the staff is planted into the ground, almost like a little sapling, and it begins growing big, and it looks very similar in stature to the staff that it was originally taken off of. And he begins muttering the words aloud, and he takes the feathers that he dipped in the different dyes, and he begins placing them on each of the horses' foreheads, and he begins still chanting and chanting and doing the ritual. And about 5 minutes of this pass, and you feel this tingling sensation in the air, and this like very densely magical aura begins coming from the staff, and it lurches out in these, it's like what's the word, prismatic color, like very rainbowy, all sorts of different colors. And the horses begin to like whir and whine, and then the this beam of power lurches to the feather and then like right into the head of the horse. And he watches they like lean back, and their whole body begins to glow this prismatic color, and they all begin to shift, changing. You watch as their bodies form larger, their hooves begin to come kind of taloned at the front, feathers begin growing out of their body. And you watch as this myriad of different colors, one chestnut, one orange, one purple, and one silver with crimson, 4 griffins emerge in their place.
Wow.
Emus is gonna audibly just gasp.
And when the ritual is done, you watch as the staff splinters down the center and then explodes into this kind of like sparkling dust that settles down into the ground and disappears. The griffins turn and, very tame like, instinctively knowing who their master is, each one correlated to their master, like their color, looks towards you like awaiting instructions. And Mariah's sitting there with his mouth open. Master's never done anything like this for me.
Emus is
Right.
gonna go ahead and clamber down off the boat to meet his new steed.
As you approach the, hold on, let me label them. This one will be Chestnut.
Where are they? I don't even see them.
They're where
Oh, dang.
the horses were.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We both went the wrong way.
I
Purple
was
one,
swimming over there.
an orange one, and a silver.
Yeah.
As you guys approach, they walk forward, and they're tall. Like you could probably fit 2 of you on there easily. Like they could grab you with their talons and like take off. And they approach you and put their head down, ready to be. They don't even seem anything like horses anymore. Like it doesn't even seem like they used to be horses. Like it just appears like there's a major griffin.
That is
Um,
freaking cool.
Emus is going to approach what he assumes to be his, and even though it's like maybe acting like, okay, hop on, Emus is going to instead stop and give it kind of a bow.
And it bows towards you as well in a very respectful manner, keeping its head low.
I'll pet mine on the side of the head.
It seems to love it. It's like turning its head to the side so you can get a better angle. And you see it like shiver and shake its feathers.
Yay!
Emus is going to mutter under his breath, and shall I call you Stella?
It prances back and forth.
Wouldn't you keep the same name as your horse?
I never named my original horse.
Oh. Bezoit reaches into her backpack and grabs out some raw meat to feed the griffin.
As soon as it sees the raw meat, it begins like prancing happily and barking in this kind of like griffin manner. It's like more of a It's like half bark, half like a bird call, and it's very excited for it. Are you gonna give it to it?
Yeah, I toss it over.
Grabs a hold of it, lays onto its back, and shows its belly for you to pet it.
Begin petting it, playing around,
That's one big ass
laughing.
dog.
Yeah.
And then it finishes kind of rolling over, and it beckons like with its beak towards its back.
I look over at Mariah and say, how long will they stay in this form?
He consults the notes. Seems to be permanent.
Wow, that is so cool.
And he's like kind of worrying looking. He's like, we thought we had a size problem now. I don't think these guys are going to fit on the ship.
Would they need to fit on the ship? I mean, couldn't they fly?
He looks at you kind of appalled. Fly forever? They'd get exhausted.
Well, we're not going to sail forever, for goodness sakes.
It's
Gazing
true.
into the eyes of my griffin, Emus is going to say, well, I don't think these are... I do believe these are intelligent creatures. I'm sure they could take some directions and meet us at our next locations whenever we travel.
Mariah's kind of looking down, jealous, his foot playing in the dirt, a little upset that he didn't get a griffin.
Hmm.
Mariah, would you like to take a quick little fly around and get to know Stella here?
He begins like rubbing his neck. Oh, I don't know if that. Yes. And he,
Well, so long as Stella here is okay with it, I'm gonna
he
step
walks up
back
to
to
you
kind
and
of allow
follows
him.
your lead and gives it a nice bow. And Stella bows. Should you get on it first?
Should I? Is there a reason to?
What? I don't want to hop on and it take me up and dump me off. I can't fly.
Given a mischievous grin, Emus is like, I ain't afraid of heights, and I'm gonna go ahead and clamber up and try to get it to take off.
And he climbs up behind you and very tightly grabs a hold of your like around you, like fully wrapped around his arms and stuff, like squeezing you really tight. It's almost taking air out of you. That's how tight he's squeezing. And the griffin is kind of sitting there, and it looks back and makes eye contact with you.
Is it trying to tell me something? Is there something that's going on?
The look in its eye looks like it's kind of just sitting there waiting for a command.
And I'm going to kind of softly say to it, let's take a lap around Rivington.
And with a very strong force, it leaps off of the ground. It begins flying super quickly. It's flying at 160 feet per turn.
Holy cow.
Wow.
That's it's sprinting.
Wow.
It's like double flying, but yeah, its normal flight is 80 feet per turn. And it's like Mariah's gripping hold of you. You guys watch as Emus and Stella and Mariah disappear off towards Rivington. You said Rivington, right?
Yep.
Head off north, all vanishing in like a blaze, like very quickly. You guys hear Mariah go, "Ah!" As you get in the distance, as he disappears.
Do you
Okay,
have a hood
cool.
on, Emus?
I do not.
Dag nab you.
I'm curious how heavy this thing is. I want to try to lift it.
What's your maximum lifting?
Maybe 1,000.
Second. So as you pick it up and weigh it, you're able to pick it up and it looks shocked. It's not fighting you or anything. 1 second. And as you pick it up and feel it, it weighs about 500 pounds. And its wingspan is about 25 to 30 feet wide.
Okay. I was thinking it would be light for its size. So, yeah, cool. I'll put it back down and just give it a
As soon
little
as you put
pat
it
for being
down,
patient.
as soon as you put it down, it like takes its head and lifts you up and kind of like tosses you onto its back.
Yeah, I know it's the other way around.
And it looks back at you like in anticipation, wanting to go fly.
Okay, let's go.
And those two again, just like Emus and them, rip off into the distance as it just as quickly as it can, excited to finally fly. And it's not like a horse turned into a griffin. Like these creatures seem like they've always been griffins. Like they're aware of their abilities. As you guys are flying, it's like they're doing like barrel rolls and all sorts of like tricks and stuff, just having a fun time with it.
While Emus is gone, I want to take my griffin over to this tree and get to know it and talk with it. And I would like to make a pack with it. But I would like for it to be secret. So can I send that to you?
Sure. Yours is silver and crimson trimmed, and the entire under of the wings is crimson feathers. So, like when that's tucked in, it looks like silver and crimson, but when its wings are spread out, the entire underside is crimson.
Nice.
Lamasi, are you wanting to do anything?
Yeah, I would like to fly probably the length of the river and see where it ends.
Okay, you heading west or east?
West.
Your bird, your griffin, puts its head down to be mounted, lowering its left wing. You get on top of it, and you said west, and you guys fly off westward, making your way. And it's probably about 3 miles downriver. You see the river begin to open up into a larger river.
All right.
And Mom, you send me that, and I think that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Ooh.